how does Counterspell work in my theory of magic? What a clever question, let me explain it to you. Now, in order to talk about how we counter a spell, I've got to talk about how we spell a spell. Or as in the theory of magic, which is where we took a scientific approach to the magic of D&D, what is the model we built for a spell and how could we counteract that? Now, the equation is nasty. These two bits control the damage of the spell, we're not going to worry about that too much right now. Basically what it means is when the spell hits, you sample from this random shape here, where the more higher up it is, the more probable it is that you're going to do that damage. And this bit of the equation tells us how the spell moves. It looks more complicated and there is a reason for that we'll get to, but they're basically the same shape. This is just the same type of equation that's been multiplied into itself. The big difference being that this one is along the damage axis, so probability and damage, and this one is along the spatial one. Oh, my voice. Don't know why that happened. Oh well. But basically we're going to end up with a Gaussian along two dimensions, one being damage and one being your position. So what this one does is it moves the spell from your position where you start to my position where you want the spell to hit. And on a side note, because we have this factor here, the more it moves, the thinner it gets. So if it gets infinitely thin, then the spell cancels out. Which is how we define the range, just if you're curious. So how do I counter this? Well, this is why it's a tricky spell. If you're sending this spell or this perturbation in the magic field towards me, I can stop the spell from arriving at its desired destination by sending back an opposite perturbation in the other way. Just a quick aside on how this works in the real world. If we're sending two waves at each other on some medium, like imagine it's a piece of string and I've wabbled it one way, you wabbled it the other way, and they're going towards each other. When they move together, they might meet and totally cancel each other out. This is because to get the value of any two waves that are running on the same thing, we just add them together. So if they're totally opposite, then you're going to cancel them out. But after that instant where they've cancelled each other out, they're going to keep moving. So this is just an important way of saying that the magic field is going to behave a little bit differently. When you have a negative perturbation in this field, it's not the same as when you're wibbling a string. Instead, it's a well for the energy in this spell to go. Therefore, in order to counter a spell in my theory of magic, the first thing you need to do is create a well big enough or equal to this one here that's going to be able to absorb all that energy and stop it coming towards you instead. Now, you can be clever about it, and that's why you can use a lower level counter spell with an Arcana check. But broadly, that explains why you're going to need a counter spell of at least the level of the spell that's being cast. If you want all the juicy details that I've not gone over, you can find it in the Theory of Magic, which is now really old. I need to make the better version of this. Otherwise, I hope you have a lovely day. Okay, bye.